Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and I say we because Cuddles is with me.
Hello.
I know, which can mean only one thing. Yes, we're going to talk some Planet Zoo. Let's give you a little bit of background here. Now, we were, as you can see by the intro to this channel, Planet Zoo is there. We were big, super hyped. I don't think that's not too hyperbolic, is it?
No, I was absolutely cray
We
for
were
Planet Zoo.
crazy hyped for Planet Zoo to come out. We did a lot of stuff on the channel and had some great feedback. We're still part of the Facebook groups and everything else. Huge fans of Planet Zoo. Any of you that have played it since launch, really, or probably since the beta even, will know that it had a ton of problems. The animal feed issue is one that comes up straight away. Zookeepers not being able to feed the animals properly. And of course, fair play to them, Frontier have done everything they can to try and fix and remedy these problems. For me, I kind of took a step back and I was like, this needs time to sort itself out, which is actually something we said during the beta that it probably could do in another 6 months. And I stepped out when save games started to be corrupted. I remember one in particular, and I'll try and find the clips that I recorded and put it in the background, is I made a treehouse. I made a huge treehouse, and the whole zoo...
And then you cried.
And exactly, the whole zoo went up the treehouse rather than expanded outwards, and was really enjoying it, was loving it. When I came back after a patch update, couldn't run the save, was corrupted. Couldn't use the save at all.
I gotta be honest, a similar thing happened to me.
Yep.
I had a multi-million, whatever their currency is, franchise zoo, and I came back after a day and it was corrupted and nothing worked. And it was heartbreaking.
It's horrible. I mean, anybody that's played anything you invest time in.
Yeah.
And to then have it wiped clean, it's like, well, start over again.
And it's not just time, it's absolute hours. We're talking hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Not just like, a half day afternoon or something like that. I'm talking hundreds of hours.
Yeah. And it's just horrible. And also you have attachment. I know I love the wolves, and I had elephants and I had wolf enclosure, and I was so invested in those animals and everything So I stepped back. I was like, no, if it's going to start corrupting, I don't mind dealing with the day-to-day issues of, your keeper can't get there. Let's sack the keeper, hire a new keeper. The sack keeper now will never leave. He's just stood there. That was an issue I remember you having.
Only very early on. I've got to be honest, the rest of mine, I never really suffered from the feeding issue. I literally did it by rote, knowing the exact way of avoiding all of those issues. But then again, that's me. I sim everything to the last nth
you are
degree.
very meta. But there was I remember the price of feeds would drastically change. All these things, and I can live with that. Don't mind that at all.
The refunds. That's I think where I broke.
The refund was a killer. Yeah, I think I left slightly beforehand. When my save game was corrupt, I stepped out.
So my save game that did actually corrupt was actually also going through an issue of suffering from the refunds. And then when it actually corrupted was after they Frontier stopped the refund issue, and as I went back into it, that was it broken. And I think because it was already in flux of having that issue, it meant that it corrupted. Yeah,
that's because you would compensate to try and work your way back. I remember you ended up having hundreds of drink stands and just to try and make people happy. Anyway, the reason we're talking about this is then on the, I want to say the 7th of April, was it?
Just after lockdown, if I remember.
It was. They released the South American pack.
Yeah.
Which had the jaguars, the giant anteater, the llamas, the capuchin
monkeys.
Thank you. And a frog. So I can't remember what the frog was.
It's a red-eyed frog.
I'm sorry, terrarium, which I can say now. Terrarium animals, but I never remember you. And a ton of blueprints.
We now call them exhibit, darling.
I do apologise. Exhibits. So
yeah. You didn't need to learn that word.
Oh, my one achievement in life is ruined.
Yeah.
So that came up. Plus, which was probably more important, there was the big free patch that was happening.
I would call that the enablement patch.
But enable you to play the game again patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I salute everybody, by the way, that stuck with this all the way through. But very much the South American pack, probably from World of Warcraft, being that we've been walking around Dazaralor that looks like a giant Aztec city. Seeing the just all of that, like the Mayan architecture and the Aztec architecture, kind of piqued our interest again.
Yeah, I think mine has always followed it. I am the active member of the Facebook group.
100%.
That's me in
Yep.
Grimm's name. I follow it. I was watching everyone's trials, tribulations, alongside a very busy period at work. So for me, I've got other things, but I was still desperate to be in there and playing that game. And when I saw that patch, I was like, this is me. So since that patch, I have probably now added a couple of 100 hours back on again.
Yeah. I will say, in the background, we have been logging in, playing a little bit, but the problem is, obviously, on the channel, we want to go through a story, an experience with you guys, and to be, oh, look, we're 4 episodes in, and the zoo's corrupted, and that's all gone. It's horrible. The investment's
in truth,
gone.
I actually did that.
Yep.
That part of the zoo that got corrupted was the fact that zoo had been fully recorded, and it was waiting for the voiceover. And I think that's where I got very disheartened.
Yeah. So we've been playing it since the 7th of April. Even though we weren't playing, we were just still love this game. We bought the South American pack. We tried it after the patch, and certainly you have been loving it.
Adore it.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore it. I tell you what has improved is the stability of franchise mode. Now, everyone remember, from the beta, I have always been pro franchise mode. I like the idea of the simulation. I like the idea of the community challenges. I like the idea of actually buying animals within the community. And I feel that now is very stable and playable. I like the changes that have come into that, where you can now have the easy, medium, or hard mode.
Love that change. So good.
I think that allows you to learn how to play franchise mode before you're penalised too heavily for kind of refunds and needing to keep guests too happy. But it does allow people access to franchise mode, because that's one of the things that I often see is people saying, well, I can't make money in franchise. The other thing they've now done, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, but your research now travels between your franchise zoos.
Yeah, I was one of those when I first read that. I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to keep researching stuff. But then I realised actually a big part of the unlocking and the growing, the expanding your zoo is actually the research. It's a huge part of it.
I agree, but actually when you go back and you read the original notes on Planet Zoo, it was actually always meant to be there.
Yeah, no, I remember
I actually
multiple times saying
starting my second franchise zoo and being surprised it wasn't already unlocked.
Yeah.
And then thinking, okay, fine, let's just unlock it.
I will say, I think if I go back and thinking of obviously when the game first launched, there wasn't that much there. It didn't take you a huge amount of time, especially if you did the old research.
What, the old research
glitch, I'm going to say, or however you want to call it. Then it didn't take very long to start to unlock certainly the things that you wanted.
Yeah.
But now when you look at South American pack, it wasn't the Arctic. Was it the Arctic pack or the
one before?
Previous one. That pack, and obviously they're going to bring out more. It's going to take you a long time if you want to start a new franchise to try and play catch up.
Especially as they're dropping rumours that already a new pack is on its way.
I'm saying it now. I'm going to call it now, and I'm saying not whales and stuff like that. But I'm thinking more watery, aquatic-y.
Are you now?
I am. I'm thinking, hopefully, finally, penguins.
Oh,
that's my dream.
I've given up on penguins.
But, like, sea lions and things like that, I would like more... Because the water feature is really good, and I would like to be able to use that a little bit more.
And they've very much improved water
since
it's been out.
Yeah.
They've done various fixes to the different types of special effects that you can do. How water actually now calculates itself is way better.
Yep.
And I think maybe that might be a hint, but I wouldn't want to speculate in all truth. It may just be a small animal DLC. I mean, my guess is that, they've had opportunity to work on some stuff, especially with kind of what's been going on in the world, and maybe they've just got a few more animals they want to add into a couple of the patches.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I crave stability, just... Make everything stable, make everything that you have work, and I'm fine with maybe like, I don't know, a £1, 99p, whatever they want to do, £2 animal pack. Just, there's a selection of animals, you can buy it, bring them in, it's not going to change anything, we're not adding anything, we're not going crazy, it's just to give you guys some variety, some new animals to play with and make different enclosures.
I will say that the more that comes in, okay,
mm-hmm.
the more they need to address whatever it is that requires you to have a computer that basically supports NASA.
100%. It was actually going to be my next point. Was that's now the only issue I have, and with the increase, the ever expanding packs we're going to be getting, how is the idea that I have to keep starting a new franchise zoo so that I'm embracing the thematical change, or because what I'd want to do is keep expanding my zoo, keep changing, keep adding new elements.
Make my map smaller.
Yeah,
because my point being, right, is that I have a very large map to work with.
Yep.
And within that map, I don't make small exhibits and enclosures. Okay, I make rather large ones. I also make very large areas for people to eat in. We have areas that are just there for like statues and things like that. And yet I struggle to get anywhere near filling that map up with one franchise zoo.
So I will say, is that an indication of the South American map they added, which was, I still think, far smaller than the standard size we get? Maybe that's their way of combating it, is by, rather than giving us this huge space, give us more interesting shapes to work around in the environment to make something interesting.
However, I'm going to put a point in there. And that is that the more interestingly shaped the environment is, the more loading on your computer.
Only if there's lots of things. I mean, there's ways they can make a small space, but make it
Yep, I will say I've loaded that map. I've fiddled with that map. I've put down 2 enclosures on that map. And my computer is on spec for the game.
Oh, very much so, yeah. You're recommended and above. And
I was already juddering. Whereas on the big flat map, even though I might put in my own geographical features, it sustained longer.
I will say South American map is very... Just the map itself is very... It's on top of a mountain and it's...
This is me speculating and I could be wrong. But is it along the whole Minecraft theory that there is a block per thing?
I honestly don't know. The animals kind of make sense. And obviously there's a lot of logic pathing of guests. So the more... I understand, the more guests you get, it's not just a graphical thing. It's, oh, I love the look at this animal. Oh, I love the look of this. And I would Preach made a... Not to dwell on World of Warcraft, but Preach made a very interesting bit about World of Warcraft, having to calculate things. And the more things you have to calculate, even though everything looks the same, the worse it gets. So if you've just got animal, needs to eat, needs to drink, fine, that's it. It's not that much to process. If you start adding in, animal is going to interact with other animals, it's going to need to different types of food, different types of enrichment, then you've got that for all the guests.
Genetics.
Yeah, you've got then the guests needing to, do I need to wee, poo, eat? Do I need to... Am I satisfied? Am I not satisfied?
I don't think we define between weeing and pooing, dear.
Well, that's another... Maybe that's the next DLC. I don't know.
And I will say that one of the ways to combat this is to restrict the number of guests. But actually, initially, I thought that was restricting the number of guests you saw in your park in order to help your computer.
Yeah.
And though your park maybe still theoretically had more guests in it.
But maybe on a more simplistic logic.
Yes, so that numeric value was there, you've got double numeric value. One is what your basic computer can handle with the visual effects of those guests being there, and the other being actually what's processing within your park. So to allow you maybe to continue commercial growth.
But it's not. No, which means you, and even graphically, there is something that's lost in having. Let's say I've seen a zoo that you did recently, which is pretty much half or 1/3 of the land space on the normal flat maps taken up with the zoo. You were, I think, locked. I want to say on 6,000.
Yep.
And your zoo looked empty.
Yep.
Because the guests are so spread out,
well,
and it's.
Alongside that, okay, all guests have to generate from one spawn point.
Which, what were you playing something the other day?
Where you could put multiple spawn points, I can't remember. However, there is a glitch to that I've seen a couple of people now say that you can almost bring the spawn point in as a blueprint from sandbox mode into franchise mode. I've not been brave enough to use it because I have the fear that I'm going to absolutely break something that I really like. Yeah. And at some point when I have a zoo running that I'm not that attached to, I will give it a go. But even so, you do find that even with transport in place, your guests don't travel as far as you need them to. So you do need a secondary spawn point. And the zoo would have multiple entrances.
It would do, yeah.
Even in franchise mode. And I think that's something they need to address officially. As I say, some people have addressed it unofficially, and I believe that does work. As I say, I'm not brave enough to use it. But I think that's something Frontier need to maybe think about actually addressing for franchise mode. It's there for Sandbox, but I think it will add to the calculations, and then will that add yet more to the strain on the computer?
Potentially. I would like to see a kind of almost an inner city zoo as a next map. So here's an inner city zoo. It's got multiple entrances to it. Maybe even go crazy and have kind of a monorail station in one corner as well. Just really...
Yeah.
But then again, as you say, is that going to impact on the performance, which is something that needs to be worked on. But what we are trying to say in a 20-minute ramble that we're going on about is that we are back officially on the channel. We're going to be doing, well... Cuddles.
I'm going to do.
Yep.
I've already started. And what I've done is I've started a new franchise. I'm quite happy with this franchise. And I've actually recorded its birth.
Yep.
And it's kind of moving forwards. So I've got the voiceover work to do. I will admit. A little bit under the cosh with a load of other things at the moment.
Damn work getting in the way of these things.
Once I get the voiceover started and done, I need to script it because I want to be very careful with it, and I want to make sure that I'm giving everyone as much information as to why I've done stuff. Because again, I have evolved.
Have you?
I have mildly evolved.
Oh my god.
So from the square zoos with square paths and straight edges and having to almost get the set square out, my zoos have mildly evolved.
They're actually hugely.
One of the things I've actually spent my short periods of time playing on Planet Zoo is actually developing my free-flowing artistic self.
Oh, my darling.
Oh. But don't get me wrong, I'm not at kind of speed build level.
I will say you and I will never be Rudy.
We'll never be Rudy.
Yeah. Rudy and the Lady Singer may be a little bit above our level.
I'm still a big lover of the actual original buildings that Frontier built for you, and I think that actually we should use those.
I embrace the fact that if you have a day job and you can't spend 8 hours building one thing, some of the stuff that is actually within the game, it's not necessarily the item itself, it's how you put it in, and then you put some trees with it, and very simple things, put some rocks with it, and all of a sudden, you've got something that looks amazing. And even though you've used all the cookie cutter items that are already in the game, all the blueprints, it doesn't look anything like anybody else's.
No.
And that's one of the things I love.
And one of the things I want to show is that you don't actually have to start a franchise zoo with warthogs or wolves.
The African wild dogs. Yeah.
It's not compulsory. That once you are on your second franchise zoo, you've got so many credits that actually you can buy what you want. That is one of the strange things, because I actually put in so many hours.
Yep.
I'm actually very wealthy in credits. That doesn't mean I was gambling the market too much.
I imagine most people are within that.
I think there is two ends of the pond on that. I think you've got people that are sat in the same position as me, who played it from beta, who maybe financially benefited in the first 3 months before. Everything got a little bit cuckoo with the whole saved problem. And then you've got people who are joining recently. One of the things with kind of what's been going on in the world is a lot of people have been looking at different games to play because they've got more time to dedicate to games.
Yep.
And this is a time sink game.
Oh, very
and
much.
This is the kind of game a lot of people wouldn't consider purchasing unless they had the time to sink into it. And people have found they've got a bit more time. And so there are many new players out there who actually don't have the credits and are struggling to get credits.
They had to save up for an £8,000 PC so they could play the game.
In order that you can play the game. Yeah. And I still get I will say that still makes it very heartbreaking for me to see people that bought the game and cannot play the game.
Yeah, I want to say
that's not fair.
There's 3 or 4 people that we know personally that have talked to you about it and said, oh, I love to play this game, can't wait. I've got my dodgery old Dell laptop that is, I don't know, 8 years old and I can't wait to play it. You're like, whoa.
And for something that I absolutely love, I have to turn around to them and I just have to say, do not waste your money.
Yeah, don't do it.
You cannot play it. Pop it into the checker, check to see if if miraculously it may be able to run it, but you're not going to get much out of it. And I think that's the thing. It's a game where you need to have everything. I mean, I want an even better graphics card, and considering I'm already on spec, I want more, because yesterday somebody produced some beautiful footage and pictures in the Facebook forum, and I don't know what they're running, but wow.
Yeah, when we're sat here and I'm thinking, I need that RTX 280 because I want to get Cyberpunk 2077 and have it just running crisp. And you're saying, I also want the RTX 280 purely to play Planet Zoo. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong there.
There has to be.
Yeah. But
anyway,
we want to end on positive.
Right, positivity is I have recorded at least 3-4 episodes.
Yep.
I will be scripting them. I will be getting the voice work done on them. I'm hoping that they're going to be positive for everybody. Everybody to just see a different type of franchise being built.
Yep.
Everything I'm going to be explaining as we go along. So why I make decisions, why I might just stick what people call an A-grade animal actually pretty much straight away into my zoo.
Yep.
Because a lot of people will go, but you can't afford to feed it and everything else. And there is actually a load of counter-arguments to that. And so I will be maybe making some counter-arguments. I've got some beautiful scenery going on.
You do?
We will be using...
But don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
We are already also placing in our riverboat rides, so that we already know where our rivers are.
I watched you do that. That was fun.
So I'm actually doing the geography before we even get there.
Yep.
So that I'm not having to wedge things in as it arrives. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys actually how much I am back to enjoying playing and how relaxing I found it.
That's the thing. I think that I'm going to try and make sure we don't go into 30-minute territory with this video.
We always do with Zoom.
I know.
Zoom is worth it.
That's the thing. I listened to us talk about this, because we were umming and ahhing about whether we go back to Planet Zoo, whether we're going to be, as in we go back to it on the channel. Or
I will always be there, Zoo, quietly in a cupboard.
But then we were just chatting, and all of a sudden we were passionately talking about stuff and go, oh my god, I really like this, and I like that, and I'm glad they did this. And it was
what happened was every time I played it up until the new patch, we'd been downstairs afterwards, we're having a chat about it, and I'm like, I've got such a love-hate relationship with this game.
Yep.
I love this game.
Yep.
I hate this game. And I don't like that unbalance for me. It's not very good. I need to enjoy a game thoroughly to play it.
Why else play it? Yep.
And then I started to play one weekend after the patch, and Grim turned around and probably about halfway through the Sunday said to me, "Are you okay? You've not spoken literally since yesterday."
I'd gone off with the dog. Me and the dog were off doing stuff, and I suddenly realised you hadn't come down and joined us. You were still upstairs. I was like,
no,
that's a bit long for Planet Zoo. You haven't stomped downstairs going, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, I was building and I was enjoying it, and I thoroughly am enjoying it, and I want to share that enjoyment. So that's 100%. Why I'm almost ready now to come back and actually do hopefully a series. I'd like it to go into a series without it.
Fingers crossed.
Anything going wrong? Touch wood.
Touch wood.
Yeah. And hopefully you guys will actually enjoy that series.
Yep, so we're looking at the moment, every Sunday is going to be Planet Zoo Day, hence this is going up today.
That gives me a week to do my first episode.
Yep, so we're going to have, every Sunday we're going to have zoo type, maybe 2 videos potentially, so we might have, if there's, a tippy type thing we want to do, primarily it's just going to be fun, chill, gameplay with Cuddles, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us done, ladies and gentlemen. We're back to Planet Zoo! Until the PCs blow up.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah, take care, everyone.